Hello, YouTube. I'm Vince White. I'm an employment attorney. It's Friday night, but not for you. I just want to make sure I get a video out for Monday before Monday at 9 a.m. rolls around, and I missed my deadline, my video posting deadline. All right, we have a YouTube question from YouTube user Alexander Surratt, who posted on our video from today, I think, entitled, "What Can I Ask For in Settlement Talks?" And Alexander asked, question, after a hearing has been won, what if the employer doesn't want to pay up? How would that work? If you have any info. Okay, so depends on what kind of hearing. And there's a broad array, and also, I don't know where you are, I don't know what the laws are where you are, I don't know, I'm not allowed to speak to the laws of other states. So I'm going to give you hypothetical as if this was in New York State. And you can talk to local attorneys and find out how that would work wherever you are. Okay? So if you won, let's say, a union hearing or a union arbitration. Awesome. Now those can, in New York, be either binding or non-binding. You might ask, why does a non-binding arbitration ever happen? Couldn't tell you. I have no idea. Why would you have a hearing and then not have the parties bound by the hearing? It's one of the most nonsensical things possible, and I've always felt that it's just tied to corruption. But I digress. So if it's a binding hearing, you are going to have a judgment, which you can go to the courts and enforce. If it's a non-binding hearing, you're going to be really mad at the employer, and they're going to look at you like, well, it's non-binding, so good luck, right? If you're dealing with an unemployment hearing, you win it. You get benefits from the state or the insurer, I suppose. If you're dealing with a workers' comp hearing, your workers' comp attorney will help you collect, right? And there'll be payments arranged. If you're dealing with like a federal trial or a New York State Division of Human Rights trial, like an agency that deals with discrimination, they're going to have an enforcement wing. Also, if you're represented by an attorney, your attorney can help you enforce whatever decision or judgment they've issued you, right? If you went to state court in New York State and you got a judgment, they don't want to pay. All right, so this is basically the same idea. If you have a judgment from a federal judge or a judgment from a state judge, you're going to have to enforce the judgment. Now, if you don't have an attorney, if you were pro se, it's going to give you headaches. This is not a good time, right? And so if you're pro se through your entire hearing, trial process, whatever it was, now you're probably going to want an attorney. I would have said you should have an attorney all the way through. If you did have an attorney all the way through, they will now enforce this judgment for you because they want to collect your money because they want their percentage, right? But if you didn't, you can try to figure out how to enforce a judgment. That is difficult, challenging for non-attorneys who don't litigate this every day. Instead, you're going to probably go to a collections attorney and be like, hey, I've got a judgment. And they're going to say, cool, yeah, give us a piece of it and we'll go collect it for you. Which is going to put you back right where you started, when early on you may not have wanted an attorney because they were going to take a piece of what they won for you. Now you did all the work yourself and there's an attorney trying to take a piece to go collect for you, right? That's not ideal. That's tough. But essentially there's a process, right? You go, you enforce the judgment. You're going to go after assets. You're going to go after bank accounts, whatever there is, right? I once had a judge in federal court ask me if I wanted a bus. And I was like, what? We were suing a county, and the county had settled the case, but they hadn't run it by their county legislature yet. And the legislature just wouldn't vote on it. They wouldn't vote on the settlement. They kept refusing. So that went on for a couple months, and then we got increasingly more and more frustrated, and we kept going to the judge. And finally, the judge was like, okay, you want a fire truck or a bus? Like, what do you want? We're going to auction off one of these things. And that's when the county said, whoa, we want to pay. And, you know, maybe they stole money from the Sandy Relief Fund to pay us. I don't know. Couldn't tell you. Sure what it looked like. But I don't care because I got to get my client paid, right? Isn't New York a wonderful place? So, yeah. This is basically what you're doing. You're trying to enforce a judgment. It's a nightmare. It's a hassle. It's a lot of work. On the upside, you're terrorizing the people who terrorized you, right? Like you're You might be going after their assets. They might wake up one day and have something happen to their bank account, right? It can be hard on the defendants, and some plaintiffs enjoy that. Most plaintiffs just want their money, and they're sick and tired of this fight, and it's enough already, right? Anyways, Alexander, I hope this is helpful. I guess this was very vague. I mean, I'm not going to be able to give you a playbook of how to enforce a judgment wherever you are. I'd have to do more than 50 of those, unfortunately, just because there's 50 states and there's some variations in different parts of states. I'm not even allowed to do that in most states. So I hope this is at least helpful. If it was, like and subscribe, and good luck to you. And I hope that you won your hearing, and I hope you are getting paid, and I hope you don't have to take steps to enforce that judgment. Take care.